Hey you guys, it's me Kiana coming at you today, and as you all saw, you saw my video before this, and I wanted to come to you guys and talk to you further about um, what I'll be sharing with you guys soon on my channel. Now, as you all know, just to give you a little bit of background for people that are not that familiar and haven't been watching my videos for so long like some of you have, um, my mom and my dad separated when I was about 3. And up until that time, I was totally a daddy's girl. I was my father is a professional drummer besides owning his own businesses and stuff. So, um, we had on my father's side, we actually had a professional gospel group. And it was called Pop and the Gospel Sons. Well, Pop and the Gospel Sons actually cut 2 CDs. And my father, well, actually, all of my family was in it. Pop was my grandfather, who is now no longer with us. Um, and my father was the professional drummer. You okay? So, with Pop and the Gospel Sons, my father was a professional drummer. So, he was the type that he would come home from work when I was 2 and 3 and a little bit into 4, where he would actually come in the house after working a long, hard day's work, and go in the basement, play his drums, and he would take me down the basement with him, and I'll be dancing to him, playing the drums and all that kind of stuff. And after my father and my mom separated, it's almost as if I was divorced as well. And my father had become a weekend dad, and then weekend dad turned into monthly dad. Monthly turned into whenever he had a chance dad. And I was raised literally next door to one of his sisters, and her name was Miss Louise. Yes, you heard me. You heard me call her Miss Louise, right? Yeah. The crazy story to sum that up is, all of my life I always called her Miss Louise growing up, not realizing totally that she was my aunt. I knew she was my aunt because they said it, but she didn't act like an aunt to me, so I always felt comfortable calling her Miss Louise, and they allowed me to do that. She never corrected me. She never asked me why do I call her that, or when I was growing up, why did I call her that. I call her Aunt Louise now out of respect, but at the time I wasn't trying to be smart or anything. When I was growing up, I called her Miss Louise because that's what I thought I was supposed to call her, and especially by her not correcting me, I thought that's what I was supposed to call her. So needless to say, they didn't really care for the lighter skinned daughter of the family. Yeah. My mother, I still remember stories, my mom telling me that they used to call her that yellow gal. And that's what they called my mom. So I was a in addition to that yellow gal, I was, you know, the yellow girl in the family to them, evidently. Um, and it just didn't really bother with me too much. And when I say yellow, I was much lighter when I was younger than I am now. But anyway, many African American families have that issue in their family. Even if it's a silent issue, it is in their family. So they never really bothered with me. Growing up, my mom always, we had financial difficulties at times. At times we didn't, but at times we did. And my grandparents, who owned property right around the corner from where I lived at, and they had 4 and 5 vehicles and stuff. All my life I remember getting a pair of socks from her. That was the grandmother from my father's side. Um, and I remember vividly, and it plays over and over in my head. I remember vividly my father riding past my house to get to his mother's, which was, his mother and father's home, which was down the street, all the way down the street, but it was down the street where I can actually see him riding towards it. And we had a high porch, so he couldn't see me all the time, evidently. Or maybe he did, I don't know. I like to think that he didn't see me. But I would see him ride past to go to his mother's or to come from his mother's house, and he would ride past my house. Now, being a parent, I know I can't imagine riding past Pootie and them. I can't imagine riding past them and not saying anything. I don't care if it was for 5 minutes. I can't imagine doing that. And he did it. He did it quite often. And during this time, he had a new family. He didn't have any birth children with this woman, but he did have a relationship with her. He actually still is with this lady. And I call her Miss Angie. I remember one time vividly, I called her, this was about 5 years after they were together, I called her Angie, and she corrected me and said Miss Angie. And ever since that day, I've always called her Miss Angie. Well, now they have two grown, they have two grown children. The youngest child is, I think he's 18 now. I saw him on Facebook one time. A couple of times, actually. I see him quite often. He doesn't know I look at his pictures. But and one time I said something about a year ago, and he didn't know who I was. And I said, I'm your sister. And he didn't know who I was because he has two birth sisters from her. But my father, I'm the only girl that's naturally from my father, his actual child. And to make a long story short, I'm trying to give you guys background. So after being hurt so many times by him not really caring to see me or seeing me whenever he felt like it, coming in my life, and then, giving me Christmas presents and then leaving for 2 or 3 months, not hearing from him, even though he still lived in the state of Maryland. Always have reliable transportation that he can get to me. Once I became grown, there was always a strain in our relationship. And I remember when I got, it was a year after I got divorced. I talked to him, and he was like, I remember this sentence. He said, I was waiting for you to have this conversation with me. But that conversation still wound up leading to where we're at now, which is having no kind of relationship whatsoever. And when I was going on my fast, you guys, I told you that I went on it because I wanted to hear God, and I wanted to grow closer to him without any distractions, as I told you guys. And that's why I found the need to leave YouTube. I didn't leave YouTube like somebody put on there to get ratings. Boo-boo, in case you haven't noticed, I get ratings regardless. I mean, that's just what it is. I get that regardless, so it's not necessary. And in fact, anybody that knows anything about partnership, I lose money when I leave YouTube. Why? Because I don't make as much, because I'm not generating as much activity as I would do if I did maybe 3 videos a day. You understand what I'm saying? So obviously, that's not the reason that I did it. And it wouldn't be a financial reason anyway, because I lose money. The less videos I make, the more I actually lose. But anyway, I left because I didn't want that kind of distraction while I'm trying to grow spiritually. And that's why at times you'll see me making less videos or whatever. And I hope you guys understand that. But I wanted to take you guys along this journey with me because I think that I have relied on food for certain reasons. Some I'm not aware of. Others I am aware of. And I do know where it turned to become a problem. And even though a part of me really doesn't, I really, you guys, don't want to talk to him. I don't really care to talk to him. I hate to say it, but he's not really an equation in my life. It's not that I don't love him. but I just don't care, really. At least that's what I believe I feel. Now, I don't know if I'm masking that feeling with food or what, but besides the aspect of wanting to get to know my father again and rekindling that relationship that I have with him, besides that, I know that I am supposed to honor him regardless of what has happened because he is my father. And we are to honor our parents for our days to be long if we do so. And that's biblically. So even if I have to release him, because I do believe that we have to release certain people, I want to do it in a manner that's not just up and leaving. If I need to release him, it would be because he is a hindrance in my growth, my spiritual growth. He is a hindrance in my spirit, period. He makes me sad for whatever reasons or anything like that. If I do need to release him, it would be for those reasons. And I'm a strong believer in releasing people. I will release you in a heartbeat. Because I don't want anything to hinder my spiritual growth. Now, what other people do, that's up to them. If they're able to juggle that and still grow spiritually, that's cool. That's great. Kudos to you. But for me, I have to do what's best for me and what's best for my spiritual growth. So I will make the effort. I don't want to be one of those types that, finally get a call from Miss Angie, my stepmother, and I don't want to get a call from her saying my father has cancer, and then I have a couple of months or so to get close to him. I don't want that to be an issue, and I don't want that to be on my spirit, and I don't want that to be something I have to answer to God, not to man. So I am going to make an effort. I'm going to try to record as much as possible, as much as he's comfortable with. I am going to record me going up there. I'm going to record when he answers the door, all of that kind of stuff. So you guys will actually see all of that. And why am I showing this? You all know that I do believe in being transparent for the body of Christ. I do believe that God actually desires that in us. And not only he desires that, he requires that of us. Why? Because being transparent actually shows others how A, they can move forward, B, they can progress in life, C, that they can get through certain things, and D, be a testimony to his grace, his favor, and his love. And that's the purpose of me showing it. Do I show everything? No, I don't. It's a lot of things you guys don't know. Why? Because it's just not for me to tell. But I choose what I want to tell, and I choose what I want to talk about, as well as we all do. You all do it yourself. So this will be something that I choose to embark on with you guys. I don't know what feelings are going to evoke from it. I really don't. So when you see it, they will be live, and they will be, up to date to the exact feeling I'm feeling at that moment. I also very quickly want to touch base on something else that I will be showing on here. I have a friend that is morbidly obese. And when I say he's super morbidly obese, he is strictly a friend. He's always been a friend. And he is, I think he was like 800 pounds. Well, he went in the hospital. And I hate to say it, but I couldn't face losing. I don't handle death very well. He was in the hospital. He had a stroke. And this was about at least 3 years ago. No, this is almost 3 years ago. No, it was about two years ago. And I couldn't face. I called him a couple of times, and I was like, "What are you doing, Black?" And he was like, "Oh no." He's called me baby girl. "Oh no, baby girl." And I couldn't face losing him, so I ran. To this day, I don't even know if Black is alive, but I do know where his mother lives at. I know she has no problem telling me where he lives at. So I'm going to take you guys on that journey with me to find out if Black is still living. If he is still living, I'm pretty sure he ain't gonna have a problem me introducing them to you guys. It's just some things I'm going to take you guys in, take you guys on this journey with me. So we're going to do that on camera as well. And some other things, I'll tell you guys that I want to go to Nene's father's grave for the first time. You all know the story about how he committed suicide, and you know, he committed suicide a couple of days after I told him that I didn't want him back, and all of that stuff. If you haven't seen that video, it's called I Think I Killed Him. It's 3 or 4 parts to that video, but please look at that video, because you'll be able to know and be able to be up to date on things that I've had to battle as far as that. And so it's a lot of things that you guys are going to go with me for. So I hope you come along for the ride with me. I love you all so much. Talk to you later. Be blessed.